Hello, this is Evan Ortlieb here, president of the Specialized Literacy Professionals, and today we have Bethanie Pletcher from Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I wanted to do a feature highlight piece since you are our newly elected secretary as part of the board, and basically learn a little bit more about you so that you can share and say some things about what makes you tick to the rest of our organization, and have it appear in our newsletter as well as on our website.
Great.
Okay. So let's start off with, tell me a little bit about your educational background and teaching experience.
Okay. So I grew up in the Houston area, and that's where I did my undergraduate degree in interdisciplinary studies, and started teaching in Austin ISD years ago. And I finished my master's degree at the University of Texas at Austin in 2000, and went to teach in a lot of other places. I've taught in the Carolinas and Missouri.
I'm jealous.
Not in Missouri, maybe. It's a little
right.
A little chilly there.
No offense to Missouri. Yeah.
No offense to Missouri. Great place to live. A little too chilly for me. Okay. But yes, so 8 of those 12 years I served in some sort of literacy specialist position. So literacy coach, reading specialist, dyslexia, you name it. Reading recovery teacher. I did sometimes I did both of those roles together, or several of those roles. Sometimes I was just a literacy coach. And then I received my doctorate in reading at University of Houston again in 2013.
Okay. What do you think, just kind of piggybacking from there, was maybe like your greatest challenge as a classroom teacher or as a literacy specialist or coach?
Ooh, my greatest challenge, I would say it was being a literacy coach and transitioning from working with students, which I found very fun and easy. Natural. I love teaching. I'm early literacy specialist, so I love, my passion is working with those young children who are hard to accelerate and get moving. And so that the transition to working with adults and, moving into their classrooms and their personal spaces was, I don't want to say it was difficult. It was, like you said, it was a challenge. It was learning a whole new way of being a professional in the schools.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of more predictable, and when you have total responsibility, onus of how the situation runs and so on, and then when it's another professional, it's like, all right, how can I coax them to try to do what I'm looking to have them extend beyond whatever they're already doing? So exactly. I felt that in a PD I did last week, actually.
Yes.
So you're at TAMU Corpus.
Yes.
And which is a place that's somewhat familiar to me.
Yes.
I was there from 2010 to 2012. Excellent place to work.
Yes.
So what are your favorite parts about your position there right now?
So I've been here, I feel like I've gotten this is my 4th year here. So now I'm finally starting to feel a little more, it's like my home, my second home. And I absolutely love it. Probably what I love most, I love the variety. It's never slow around here. There's always something going on, and every day is completely different from the day before. And I have the luxury of, I teach undergraduate, master's, and doctoral students. So I get this lovely continuum, of people to work with, and it's great. I also, I research with not only my doctoral students, but also undergraduate students in the McNair program. So that's been really cool to watch them have such an interest in reading education, but, a year before they even graduate, which they're leaps and bounds ahead of where I was as an undergraduate. So that's really exciting.
That's excellent. Yeah, I think that diversity is what keeps us excited. Having autonomy to kind of research as we please and partner with those people who we find productive, excellent ways to sort of carve out a career and also impact the local communities, as you know, are oftentimes in dire need of improved literacy.
Definitely.
So, thinking back, I guess, to your early years as well as in the future, who are some of your literacy role models, and who do you try to aspire to be from a professional sense, anyway?
I would say, well, two people. One who isn't with us anymore, but I trained for reading recovery twice, which was an amazing experience. So obviously, Dr. Mari Clay, I love her work. Her work has guided me through all of my career, regardless of what I was teaching. I'm actually rereading Becoming Literate again right now, just to every once in a while. It's nice to go back to that work and think, okay, I am guiding my students in the direction that I'd like to see them go. As far as at U of H, I had a professor, Dr. Lee Mountain, and she just amazing lady. To see her at this stage in her career, she not only is the kindest person I have ever met and just kind to everybody, she's just so vibrant and just an amazing writer, an amazing thinker. She'd stop you like a month after you turn something in and go, I was thinking about your third paragraph in this paper you wrote. I'm like, wow, if I can be that way at all, not even in the future, I would be a very happy professor. So I definitely.
Yeah, I find that trailblazers, they're able to almost single-handedly change the field in many ways, and they continue to be productive throughout their careers, and helping other people, bringing in big grants, bringing attention in the limelight to issues that haven't always been a hot topic of sorts. And so it's so commendable that their passion allows them to have such success in that way.
Right.
So, going from professional now to personal, what might be some of the hobbies or other sorts of things that make you tick outside of those walls of Tamu Corpus that are particular to yourself?
When I have the time.
It's always a good preface.
Yes, when I have the time, which I really, that has been my goal this year, to make more time for things like that. Probably one of my biggest hobbies, actually, a few years ago, I decided one day, woke up and decided to teach myself to sew.
Okay.
And yeah, I had never had any interest at all, and just ordered a sewing machine, taught myself. And so now I make some pretty cool vintage inspired dresses, and people have come over and said, oh, you should sell those. I'm like, really? No. Yeah, so that's what I like to do. It gives me something to do with my hands and outlet for the energy, but it's also, it's fun too. I love it. So
I find that the hands-on activities and things like years ago, I used to build computers and work on cars and paint cars and do all these things that people always just say, oh, I figured you'd rather sit in front of the camera or behind a desk and just use your head. And it's almost like the balance of both of those that keeps people sane and keeps people motivated in work, is when you have something else outside of work with which you're passionate.
Definitely.
So I highly commend, you and everybody else that those hobbies really are important, whether it's sewing or exercise or whatever it is that kind of calms you down and is able to regain a sense of balance that we know sometimes in our field is a little bit hectic.
Right. Yes.
So you join us now as Secretary of the Specialized Literacy Professionals. And I just wanted to get a better feel for why you think you were interested in serving in that way, and your overall interest in the group.
Basically, due to my experience, like I said, most of my teaching career, I served in one of those roles at some point, whether it was working with students, teachers, both, working with administrators, working at the district level on curriculum, and working with coaches. Recently I've been working on a study with reading specialists who, in the past, and some of them have been doing this for 10 years, 100% time as a reading specialist working with children, and now they're being asked to coach teachers. So and like I said before, that child, they're nervous, they're scared. I did a PD last week in a district for this group of people, actually. But they also see the need for it. They understand that there's the resources are slim. There may just be one reading specialist serving 700 students in a school.
Wow.
And so they understand that they need to be assisting teachers and passing on that knowledge to the classroom teachers so that they can assist all students, not just the ones who might be struggling as well. So that's kind of where my passion lies, in doing both those roles and doing them well. I think it can exist. It just requires some dedication and training and the want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that kind of goes back to our study that we helped almost co-pilot along with ILA and NCTE, where it was headlined by Rita Bean and Diane Kern and Jenny Goatley, and I headed up the quantitative leg of the project, where we were trying to redefine the role of a reading specialist.
Yes.
or a literacy coach. And that's really where we tagged the name of our organization, Specialized Literacy Professionals, in that piece that was featured in Literacy Research and Instruction.
Yes,
And
very familiar with that
right.
article.
And that framed sort of the position statement within ILA on these specialized literacy professionals and the multiple roles and responsibilities that they have, because historically, like you said, it was kind of one or the other. You were the specialist, you were the coach, and now those roles and lines of demarcation are much more blurred.
Yes.
So people have to be responsible and more nimble and stay on their feet in those regards.
Exactly.
So I just want to thank you so much and welcome to the group, first of all, right? I should have started off that way. And more importantly, we're really looking forward to having you as part of the team, the leadership team that is, and having you help us pilot the next few years from a leadership standpoint of the specialized literacy professionals. If you're not already a member, please go to literacyprofessional.org. You can find our website there, and you'll see biannual newsletters where this piece is highlighted. So once again, thank you so much, Bethany, and we look forward to working with you soon.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
You too. Bye.